coincidentally, about a year ago, your former employer, USDA, came out with these new part standards for Salmonella and Campylobacter for chicken parts. So I imagine that put an awful lot of pressure on your customers.
Yes. Over the years, the standards for microbiological contamination on the parts has steadily become more restrictive. So the new standards were a significant change for the industry, both for Salmonella and Campylobacter. So that generated this whole interest in being in the plant because it's the live animal that brings it to the plant, but the plant's where it gets measured.
So tell me how this worked with your customers, because again, they think of you as the more traditional tech service veterinarians that might go into the processing plant for to take a look at condemnations or whatever, but now you can talk to them about foodborne pathogens and other things. How are you working with your customers to improve their food safety programs?
As those standards the hurdles become higher and it becomes harder to meet some of these standards for certain plants, start looking at other interventions that you can do, because a lot of the interventions that have reduced foodborne pathogens have been targeted at plants, things you do in the plant. As the hurdle gets higher and it gets harder to get over it, you have to start looking at the whole concept. And I think that's a little bit of, I've used that term holistic, and I think that's kind of how we viewed it when we said, look, let's go back to the field, and there may be things in husbandry and how we grow these chickens that could be looked at that would reduce an incoming load. There may be things that are related to feed withdrawal, things related to transport that could all be looked at. And then there's interventions and products like the Salmonella vaccines, for example, that have been used in some cases for targeted incidents or reasons than being looked at as just another tool that might be properly applied. And so that's kind of an umbrella explanation of how we kind of took a look and said, let's just kind of start and rethink this whole thing and make it go from the farm all the way in through the plant. And I think veterinarians that have a background in poultry are the right resource for that, because we work in all those areas, and some of those things are pretty technical. So it does take a technical background, I think, to bring the right things into play at the right time.